Hello my dear friends, welcome to the sessions of corporate finance where we are learning project financing and payback period of project financing. We have already learned what is payback period in our previous session. In this session we will learn it with the help of a case wherein you can see the investment required for this franchisee business is deposit 5 lakh, fixed asset 10 lakh and working capital investment 5 lakh, of which deposit and working capital will be refunded at the end of 5th year and fixed assets will get depreciated over a period of 5 years. So nothing will remain. The cash flows from the particular project are also given to us from year 1 to 5. And the WACC is also given. You have to assess this project based on the WACC of 10.5%. We have seen what is WACC just now. It is the weighted average cost of capital. The money required for starting this business, that is 5 lakh, 10 lakh and 5 lakh, total 20 lakh. Say if funded from a loan or equity, the cost of that loan or equity combinedly is 10.5%. So based on this information, you are supposed to analyze this case and suggest whether this business should be accepted or not. So we will try to use all these three methods that we have studied. The payback period method, which calculates the period in which the money you will receive back, the investment you will receive back, the net present value method and the internal rate of return method. So let us start it. First we will try to prepare the cash flows table. The information given to us is related to cash inflows. So let us copy it. Now when you have to say for example copy certain data and the data is say for example in the horizontal format and you want to convert it into vertical format. In that case there is one function available in Excel which is called as transpose function. The shortcut to it is also available in paste special as transpose, and now you can see the horizontal data gets converted into vertical. It can be applied vice versa as well. So now this is the inflow data given to us. We need to calculate the outflow data as well because it will be required. So what we can do is we can maybe just simply calculate particulars or labels you call it and amount. We'll keep the same theme, brown and yellow. We have seen in our first video itself that whenever you are creating a model, it has to be presented. It should look somewhat attractive. Let us fill in the data into this table now. Now, if we read the case again, the outflows are related to first of all the deposit to be made is rupees 15 lakh. Sorry, 5 lakhs, not 15 lakhs. The other outflow is investment in fixed assets 10 lakh and working capital 5 lakh. So let us make a table of it. Deposit 5 lakhs, fixed assets 10 lakhs and working capital to run the business 5 lakhs. The total comes to be, I would suggest whenever you are making such totals, though orally it is possible to make the total, use formulas so that when there is a need to change, you don't have to change the entire figures. The referencing, if done properly, it will be done automatically even if you change your figure, say for example from 5 to 10, 25. It will go back to the original figure 20. And this now you can add to this cash flow schedule as year 0, because outflows are done at the start of the project or initial project period. So that's why outflows. Now if we talk about inflows, these are not the only inflows. If we read the case again, the deposit money will be refunded at the end of franchisee period, and working capital will also get dissolved at the end of the 5th year. So we need to consider that. So what we can do, we can simply add it here into this 16, or in the case itself. In the case it is given 16, so we can add it here as 16 plus, you will get the deposit back of 5, or you can add it as this, plus the working capital. So it will be 26 lakhs. Now when you are calculating the payback period, the simple method of calculating payback period is, or first understand the meaning of payback period, in how much time you are going to get back this investment. Now as this is an investment, it has to be negative because it is an outflow of money. So should be represented in terms of negative. We'll change the sales formatting to look appropriate. Now in how much period you will get back this investment, when in the operational period from year 1 you start getting the inflows as 10, 12.5 and so on. So let us see. At the start of year 0, you will be having the outflow of 20 only. Now while calculating payback period, you can do it in two ways, either by calculating the cumulative inflows and comparing it with the outflows, or simply deducting the inflows from the outflows to find out the period wherein you get all your outflows back. We'll see the simpler one, or you can say both of them are similar or simpler. Cumulative cash flows. Now in the first year you have 10 lakh as your inflow. In the second year, if you want to calculate the cash inflow, you can simply add the previous year's cash flows, cumulative cash flows, plus the current year cash flow. So previous year's cumulative cash flow plus current year's cash flow, and you can simply drag it now. Now we have to compare these cumulative cash flows with the cash outflows, these inflows with outflows. Now if you see here, in between year 1 and 2 you are getting back the amount something more than 20 lakhs. So we can say that the payback period is in between year 1 and 2. Is equal to 1 year Now why 1 year? You can see here at the end of year 1 you have 10 lakh as cash flows. At the end of year 2, cash inflows cumulative becomes 22.5, which is more than 20 lakhs. Means you have received your investment done. Now how much? Now this second year you have earned 12.5, whereas to make it 20 lakhs you needed only 10 lakhs. Now here you have to make an assumption that the inflows received in any year are uniformly earned by the organization. So based on that assumption we will try to find out the fraction of the year in which the remaining 10 lakhs were earned by the organization. How do we do that? Simply by finding out if for earning 12.5 lakhs the organization requires 12 months. So for earning 10 lakh, how much they would have required? 9.6 months. Now why? How come this is month? Because if you see here, we have divided it by 12, assuming that every monthly inflows are uniform. Based on that 12, you can do it day wise as well. In that case you will have to divide it by 365, but we'll keep it months and then we can convert it into days as well. Now 9.6 months, again it gives a fraction of a month. You can convert it into days as 9 months and 0.6 months. 0.6 months will be again 0.6 into 30, 18 days. So we can simply say here this is 9.6 months. Control Z. 18 days and 9 months. 9. Now we want to add words and figures at the same time. In those cases you can use this sign of and then use inverted commas for the words or characters that you want to write. After equal sign, see, it gives you 9 months. And same we can do here, is equal to and then space and then inverted commas and days, because we want the answer with the words days. So it gives us the answer as 1 year, 9 months and 18 days. So approximately you can say 288 days, or if you want to keep the answer in months only, you can do it this way, or again in this formula only you can add it as simply use and sign and then into inverted commas you can write the required words that you want to add. So this is what you will get as an answer. 1 year and 9.6 months or 1 year, 9 months and 18 days becomes your payback period. Means in this period you get back your investment done of rupees 20 lakhs back, and after that whatever you get is profit. Now after this we will try to learn the next methods, that is net present value method and internal rate of return method. But before that, now in what cases payback period method is useful? We have already seen the you can say usefulness and the limitations of payback period, that yes, it is pretty easy to calculate. It gives you the time period in which you get back your investment, and the limitations being it does not consider time value of money. So in what cases you should use this method? Simply when you are taking a very risky project, and you want to get back your investment as early as possible, you should go for payback period method. Second situation, when the economic conditions are pretty inflationary, or the raw material you are using is pretty inflationary, and in those cases you would like to get back your investment as early as possible. In those projects or assets also you would like to use payback period method. And third case being, if you are investing in a project which is pretty dynamic, say for example technology projects or mobile projects, if you talk about, they change very fast. The technology used in them changes very fast. So you would not like to keep invested your money into such projects for long. You would like to get back your investment as early as possible, and so that rest of the money that you earn after payback becomes your profit and you are relaxed. In those cases again payback period is pretty useful. Now if it is not considering time value of money, then what? This limitation can be overcome by combining the discounted cash flow method and payback period method, and we can simply calculate discounted payback period for the particular project. But for that we need to learn the net present value first. So we will learn that in our next session.